So let me just start the online recorder now. This can hear me, can hear the voice go up. So it should work. Start dictating. Yep, okay, I've started. Keep the mic to start dictating. The mic is here. Okay, allow. So basically, I've started dictating to my computer what I need. Because and I need to dictate something here. I need to mute everything before I start the video. Okay, guys, I know you guys are hearing me, but I'm trying to okay, basically, yep, I can dictate to my computer anytime. So basically, guys, this is very important here. You understand what I'm doing now, but I need you guys to really get with it. So let me try to start now. My videos, okay, basically I've faced my camera, I'm seeing my camera now, can hear me, yes, everything's good to go. Okay, so I've got the, some notes here, but it's all from my head. I did this like this morning. What today's date is 23rd of November, basically, I start organizing my work too, because all the work I just did just like paperwork, but I put them down on paper before you get to the next. But this time it's gonna be serious. This is about my civil collapse initiative. So we got triadic models only, but every new system has a triadic model. So 3 teams basically, 3 teams. What's a new paper? Let me get a new paper. Here, okay, basically, this is something I call the wingman. But basically, there's no sun shining on it. Like with you at the sun, it's like the sun. Actually, the sun is round. This round sun is something that goes one way. But there's one way with the sun, because I'm trying to interpret the world my way now. So the sun shines on some places, but not other places. So when the sun shines, things get better. Because it means you have more capacity, you have more energy, you have more day more to do, because the sun lasts. But the sun doesn't last forever every day, 24 hours a day. What to do 24 hours? The sun rises, it then goes down. So if you're struggling, so it's like the BFM sun, the rising sun, the BFM rising sun icon, because I'm seriously bearing. I'm taking back my persona, myself, from the best side. So guys, this is about safety critical systems. I don't spell it for you, but this transcript is rubbish anyway. YouTube transcript, the different ones are rubbish. So you got the sun. It rises on day, night, and day. Night and day. If you don't understand anything you say, very important if you don't understand this night and day analogy. If you don't understand anything, understand what I'm doing on this paper. Because it's about war stuff, war tech, fighting tech. Okay. So the sun rises, this moon, the sun becomes a half moon. The half moon becomes what like a crescent moon. This is like a crescent. This is like a great crescent moon. This is like a half moon. This is another tri-moon, like a tri-moon. Tri-moon. I call it tri-moon. And this is like the moon. But the moon is equal to the sun. So when you get the moon, what you get the sun on the other side. So on the other side, basically, the moon is the sun. But just because the tide's going doesn't mean the moon is not there. So the moon is there definitely. It's just you don't. So the moon swung. The moon is night and day. So this is you understand, night and day. Yeah. So here we have what? The sea. Only the sea. So here, because basically you guys are on the land, we bear friends, we're fighting for like the right of bear friends. So this is very important video to me to make, So this other land is there, but the time and day, it's so hard. So it's so like hard to keep track of. You lose track very quickly. Because once the sun sets, you get night and day. Then you go to sleep, then you wake up. But when you're at sea, you don't want to wake asleep. You want to stay awake the best possible in cycles. So the sun has 1, 2, 3. That's what you have like 4 days with 24-hour clock. Because everything's speaking in 3 then a triad anyway. So it's like what's interesting is the triangle model, the triad model. So basically, you gotta navigate the sea, the triangle model, but you don't do it with your eyes. You do it with your all the senses. The boat shape. You have to know what you're doing. The most people should get in the day. It's not. So basically, you want to do the most important thing in the morning, which is when the moon comes in, or the days. The moon is the night. Moon's the moon and day. So basically, in the 12-hour standard time is what the default for normal day. But 24-hour standard time is multi PM. But this is the problem. This is duality I'm calling it. So basically, this is my radical rational framework. Radical just means like I'm reasoning around why I'm not getting things done. Why I'm not doing stuff. To how I'm doing stuff. So this is what I call my ontological revelation. So I love this, guys, for you guys to bear friends have it. You guys should love this like me. If you don't love it, you don't bear friend. You don't understand the sun meaning in the bear friend arm. You don't understand anything. So if you don't love it, then you know I'm not, or you have something that doesn't make sense to me. Just tell me, and I'll try to make sense of it. We'll make the system better for everyone. So this is a 12-hour system. Now this is a 24-hour system. Now 24 hours is military time, but it gives you more time, but more time to what? in the sea. If you're fighting, fight, more time to fight. But that more time to fight, why haven't you done it in 12-hour time? You haven't done it in 12-hour time. So basically, in 12 hours, 12 hours minimum, you need to like defend the vital buffer. I love myself, So when the sun then comes, you now get the sunrise, the sun, right? So the sunrise, and then the sun goes, obviously the sun, and then you get this one, go this way, and then you get this one, go this way, and you get this one, go this way, and you get half a sun, and you get sunset. So sunrise to sundown. So let's go. So you got like moonlight. These are the same thing there, same thing in a day. When is the one sun setting, the sun before sun rising, in other words, sun rising. That's the same thing, guys. That's what we have a time model there. But we have to basically 24-hour clock is stupid anyway. There's no basically I'm trying to change the time, which case you're gonna be working there. If you want to, but if you're working for the people in you, with us, so this is 24-hour. This is stupid time. Basically, I'm referring to my own military time. 24 hours is rubbish. I hate it when I came to UK. Why do I have 24 hours here? But only like 12 hours there per day in Biafra anyway. So we use 12-hour clock standard time for standard time. So now in my Biafran constitution, we have 6 hours maximum a day to work. No, that's the maximum you can work, 6 hours a day. Which was what it was in Biafra Nigeria until I started working 7 hours as a child. But they said I had to get to pay my dad. So basically, my dad was really big, wanted me to do more work, so I could do it. So this 6 hours, but you guys should have 5 to 6 hours. If a child wants to work, they don't need to work. So that's allowed, like everyone else, to work 6 hours a day. That's half day. Oh, sorry, that's wrong. So basically, 6 hours a day is half day. So I worked half day. I didn't want to work half day because my dad did 7. Sorry. They meant to work. Children are allowed only half day. So a child is half an adult. Half an adult. Okay, basically, I'm thinking of genes right now. So I'm giving you guys properly. So a child is half an adult, but that's what can be man or woman. Boy, if a boy wants to work more hours to come, but a man expects to become a man. So they meant to work hours. So basically, as a child, I was working 3 to 6 hours naturally. But I didn't like it or something in school. But if I want to do something else, 6 hours is I can't work 6 hours no more as a child. So basically, I want to change this to like 3 hours and less. 3 hours and less. Why? Because a fourth of the day of 12 is what 3 hours maximum. That's the maximum you're allowed to work. No if, no buts. As a child. So the minimum time. Maximum time is a child, is 3 hours. Per day for your family, for your work day, make your family 3 hours a day. We have to get money. Somebody have to get something from it. What is money? It's not basically you can get money. You can get money from its children. I guess I'm wrong. You can really get money from it. But you don't want to get money. I just want to buy some food. So you get basically someone wants to you get the what you need, what you need. So what you want, basically you just like the model here. So you can see what I'm saying, the sun is equal to the moon. There's no difference, you can work in the day, you can work in the night, but you guys are meant to work with the person that you are getting paid from. I want you guys to work, we don't want to work, I want you guys to rebuild, this time, the whole time. So time is of the essence for you guys, So if you're like obviously I don't want to tell anybody 5 to work. So basically when I started working at age 5. Guys, so I don't know more than 5 years what we're doing in the shop, So basically, I don't want to like tell you guys this, but I want you guys to the children to be working at age 5, because Peggy system. So you got the 1 to 3 is banned from working anyway. A child downward issues. Basically, if a child turns 5 and 6 and you ask them, do you want to work? Say yes, and then you said, are you sure you want to work? Because there's no going back if you say yes again. Yes. Okay, guys, that's for the children. But if you say, and then you sign them up. So basically, you have to see them, confirm them by video. Like, video 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3 yeses. Yes, why? Because, if you make a mistake, if they make a mistake once, they correct them second time. If they make it second time, they make it third time. But, that's for the verbal or neurodivergent people, And then you got another 3, so you have to do 3 times, 3 times. 6 times, a maximum of 6 times. They say that, but they say it, but they write it on paper. They document it. Basically, the forms you have to fill in 3 forms, independent forms, not even like together, guys, because they're very funny. If I make it 12 forms, it should be better for you guys, because let's say 3 to 6 forms. Why 3 to 6? Because as a child, 3 forms is like so 3 to 9 forms, for everything. Because 3 times 3 times in a day is they can work 3 times 3, 3 plus 3 is 6. Oh, so 6 forms. Okay, they have to fill in 6 plus 6, 3. Basically 3 forms. When they say it, video, audio, they hear it. But they say it 3 plus 3. But they need 3 forms to verify on paper. So if they want to work minimal hours, they do sign the form. And then say it in person and we'll get the audio recorded because we're not sued by a child, guys. That'll be embarrassing for you guys. And they get 6. But the maximum allowed to work 6 times and they get to work and do everything. But they're allowed to work the half the time. So if I'm allowed to work an adult, 6, how do I work? So I was doing 6 hours work, I was doing 12 hours work, so 12 hours a day. Basically, I'm allowed to work 12 hours a day. You know, I don't want to even spend 1 more hour working my life. Like, you know, working for who? Like who? I work for myself. So 12 hours a day, 6 plus 6 is 12. So that's the minimum I'm allowed to work. Why? But I don't want to work anything. So basically, I want to get like 6 hours work. Because you know, as a child, I do 6 hours a day. Anyway, because I can do 6 hours a day, but you know, that's just 6 hours past. 6 hours per day. 6 times 6 is what? 36 hours a day. So most people go, you know, basically, I don't want to give them 36 hours of work to do. You know, because that means the system is broken. You know, so there should be no one working 36 hours. So you're working like 6 plus 6 hours a day, 12 hours a day, maximum. You know, maximum a day, maximum. If anybody want to do overnight, that's day covered day and night. You know, whatever they were doing in that day and night covered, 24 hours. If anybody works 36 hours, they are crazy. They're crazy. Something wrong with the system with us, the people. So that's kind of the ontology duality. So a child's allowed to, basically a child, a young woman, basically try 3 forms. A young woman is what allowed to work. A young girl. Basically, if I'm meant to work 6 hours a day as a child, you guys, you 3, I'm not scared of you guys, children. You guys, if you want to work, if you don't want to work, it's fine. But you know, you gotta work with something you want. So 6 hours is maximum. Now you get 3 hours a day. Because you know, 3 to 6 hours a day for the children. So, and that should keep them having money in their pockets and money and doing things. So basically, this duality is called the white gold side good duality. I want to do something, but I don't have the resources to do it. So they can buy assets. So they're more entitled to assets. So they basically it's onion systems. So basically, a child can have more assets basically than adults they need. So basically, you know, I don't know what I need. I need money. The money is there, but the money is not there. I need some money to get food. But you know, that's my food, guys. That's my food. My food as a child. I buy the food. I buy a loaf of bread. I then put the bread. Then I have to buy milk. If I get money, do more work for milk, and I do money, milk, and then there's something nice. Money, food for food, like rice, jollof rice for the week. So children are allowed to work weekly, only 2 weekly. So they have 2 weeks to work, and 1 week off. You know, 2 to 1. So let's say 3 weeks. So basically, if they ever work 3 weeks, they basically have 3 to 3 weeks work because it's the right model. But there's a right model. There's 3 to work 2. I'm thinking about the children right now. The 2 to 3 weeks are to work maximum. So that's 21 days. So that means they have to take the entire next week off. You know, because you know, but they can do that maximum 3 to 1 if they want to keep it like that. But you know, if they then work the next week, even for like a week, a second, you know, like you know, there's no working like a month. They're allowed to if they want to. They work for a day. You guys should be careful for these children now because they've got to be very smart. A day after the week, that's 21 days. 20 plus 21 day, 22 days. That means they need that 1 day back. 1 day back. And what we need to do, guys, is to give them that break. You know, they're not allowed to work. You guys should be actually stopping them. So my system should block them entirely. Bi-daily. So my system allowed them to be blocked entirely from entering that environment to work. They're not allowed in there for that time. You know, they have to go do something else, you know. So it's about healing people, literally, by making sure my business, basically, I don't say I'm basically, if I say I have a business, I'm running you guys, but I'm not saying I'm running you guys. I'm saying you work for me. I'm not saying you work for me. I'm saying you work for me. No, I don't want that. I say, do your work, guys. No, I don't like that. Okay. When I say you run, basically, when you say I work for you, that means I'm not happy. You control me. I'm a slave. So this is what this means. You know, I'm not free. But work is labor. Labor is tiresome. Labor can be tiresome, but it's not. It's about liberty, about independence. So only basically these so these children are right to MMUKO system. So what I want to introduce you guys is something. Oh, my time. Oh, for them is MMUKO. M for mother. M for Mike. M for Mandy. M for Mike. U for umbrella. K for kilo, and O for Oscar. is the zygote coherence system. But it's really about protecting all the kids. So civil collapse, civil revolution. So basically, civil collapse is what? So basically, the MMUKO system, what? Basically, MMUKO children's services. Health social care. Basically, you want children to themselves. You want basically. I don't want to be with children. Like any adults to be with the children. They shouldn't go to the shop to do their own thing. Stop holding the kids' hands, guys. Stop holding my hand. I want to say I want a house, guys. No, my mom and dad's two people. Basically, this is the MMUKO, initiative. So basically, this okay. So what my initial game? The one I will, the children's will. We got the zygote will, and then we got the MMUKO zygote will. So we got the MMUKO onion. So this is MMUKO onion and MMUKO zygote system. So you got the wheel, and the wheel must keep moving. Without the adults, without someone holding my hand again. The child duality, adult to man. No one should hold my hand ever again. Only someone should hold your hand. Adult. So zygote wheel. Well, it's my universe now. The wheel must keep moving. The roads are broken. On broken roads, the worst road for a child is distress, killing, massacre. 1967 brought to 2000. Present day, 30 years old, 50 years old, and ongoing, it's still going because it really keeps moving. And then what? Duality. And rediscovered. So basically, the children of Revaltion should rediscover themselves. The zygote discovery. They can spread. They must. I'm breathing life into them. So basically, this is the zygote duality model. So basically, we have the zygote duality here, but we should have a worse. So the thing about this, basically, the breathe. Breathe is not an option. It's not an option. Every child must breathe. The mother wants to breathe. They should breathe. Want to breathe. It's not. It's suffering if they don't breathe anyway. They're dead. The mother as good as dead if they don't breathe. Any child I've seen. Breathing. It's not an option. Okay, I'm giving the model now. Basically, we're gonna vision this the zygote wheel and zygote problem. So basically, the model, everything I see there is problematic. So let me try to give it to you. Breathe, live, and work. Okay, so this is need one, two, three. Need one skill, and this is something called the dynamic skill. So basically, it's called a dynamic skill. Need to want, and then aspiration, foundation to aspirational. What's your local? And then we got one more. Could, would, should, must. Okay, basically, guys, this is like also this is so much paper here. My next video is gonna try to get it sorted too. So let me try to give you that, guys. So this is the wheel there. So you can see this paper there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, choose your feature MD. It's for me because I'm just gonna do my PhD. It's my PhD. It's my ontological revolution for children. Because basically I'm thinking about the children, not even the mothers or the fathers. Because I want them to be independent and flourish, whether they're man or woman. Because I see women as men. But they're not half men. They are women that can give life and protect things. But they can protect them, protect you, but they protect you indirectly. So basically, it's more indirect. But why can't it be direct? It means you protect everyone directly without saying to someone else that's in power to do it. So I think my wife will talk to me when she wanna solve a problem. I want to solve a problem without other wives. Whether she's having a house or not. I don't know if I'll have, but I want 2 wives. I don't want 2 wives. I don't want anything. From Nigeria, because but I'm not really so basically I'm saying so basically the breathing is not optional, but the breathing problems overlap with what the life problems, and the life problems are not work problems. So basically breathing, you need air, you need food, you need water, you need all those things to survive, to sustain yourself. Then the life you need life, you need to eat, you need to sleep, you need to be waking up cycle and doing work. Now the work is an optional, my friend, so you're not allowed to work if you don't want to work. Work is optional. You can work to get some money to sustain yourself, but that's the same thing. I need this is the same thing. That's the first error. If you see someone say this is the model, you breathe, you live, you work, a shit model. So you got the second model here. This is an error prone model here. You know, so it's like a everything. So what you need is a want. Do you need it? Do you want it, or do you basically if you breathe, you need it. If you breathe, you need the air to breathe. If you live, guys, you know, you want to live. You want, you know, you want to live. You know, you don't want to die. But living doesn't mean you're alive. You know what I'm saying? If you're alive, you are living already, but you're not surviving. So you can want to die, you want to live. So you can say, I don't want to live, you want to suicide, you know. But if you work, you want to work. But you don't want to work, you know, you want to live. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to work, you want to work. You know, that's the duality there. So that's where it comes from. So basically, living does not mean you're alive, alive doesn't mean you're living, and working does not mean you want it. You know, you work into something, you know, that's the objective. There. So that's the duality problem. So that's what I'm experiencing every day in the fucking UK, and that's what means that I'm broken as fuck. I want something. I need a house. End of certificate, help on certificate at 2014. I'm 24 years old. My date of birth is 19th of May 2001. Namdi, get out of certificate. I'm going back to Nigeria, guys. But you know, if I say I want something to council, you don't want it. You need it. You need it. You don't need it. You want it. I don't want it. I need it. You know, I want a free house under the certificate. 14 days, you come to certificate, you get a house. I sit there the longest time. I'm gonna 2025, 1825, 2025. I won't get a house, free house. I won't get carriage. I won't live my life independently. Yes, that's basically the ontological age of the just duality. So you got the could, would, should, and should not. Basically, if I could do something, that means definitely foundation. You know, I could do it, but you know, I'm thinking about not doing it because it's gonna give me stress in my mind. My business will get fatigue. You know, so but if it gets bad so bad, and I want it, and I should do it, and I'm living. Basically, if I'm living, then I need to want something. Then I want something, and I can't get it. I continue living the way I am. You know, cycle of oppression and depression, and then I leave it. But you know, I wasn't doing that. I was like trying to get the best out of my hand. So this kind of model in my head. So live, want, and would. So if I want to live, I then would do it. So I would eat. You know, for the next day because I get hungry, get angry, get sad. You know, I know my state of mind. And if I work, I would work. I want to work, but I don't want to work, guys. I want to live, but you know, I'm confused between living and working now because I don't know that I need to breathe, to live, to work first before I can start. Basically, I'm even gonna work for anyone anymore in my life. I don't give a shit. I'm getting 330 million pounds in my bank account, swing count to council, and that's good enough for me. I'm not for my entire life in constitution. I'm not them. I'm not like them. So basically, never be like them ever again. You know, for them, I don't really care about them when they die now. But I am real. I know what I'm doing. So if I want to work, I would do it. So I can aspire and do my things I want to do. So I must work. You know, I must work to get my aspirational goals done. Things I want to do, my life done. My going to Cambridge, do my PhD. I didn't go to. You know, 2 years. Basically, let me get to grant 31,000. Basically, the by the thing I'm saying to you guys, I'm giving you guys the model now. I do want to put another video because you know, the video what's the time? 31. Basically, I'm gonna try to do thing. So this is the other one here, but this is Zygo problem. So the Zygo problem, if I have if I'm perfect will, I'm perfect like my nature, I'm PhD. Why aren't I getting the perfect support? The feel I could do everything myself. You know, if I am the best of the best, which I know I am the best of the best, which you know, that's the Zygo's problem now. So guys, that's the Zygo's problem. The duality of the system and you, in reflection of me to you guys. 30 money. Basically, I'm giving you guys double. The framework of my mind, because of my intellectual output in the UK. This I'm documenting is alive, but you know, because of ontological research. What else have I got now? 3-to-1 mapping, 2 or 3-to-1 mapping of circle. The one's come out yet. Okay, so there's a different sun. So let me try to get that sun model again, so I can give you guys I'm trying to do it properly. So this one's basically, if you make one error here to a child, this is the model you get. The breed, the one. If you break this one, guys, you get a dangerous. So this is inverted. This is inverted to something else. So this one here is 3. Basically, you got a 3 years. You got 3. You got 3. Basically, you got a 3A and 3B. But they're one is for homogeneous and one is particular. And this is Zygote model. So one, you're breathing, you're living, you're working, children. Automatically, if anybody touches you, basically anyone wants to touch you wants to start from 3B and go to UA. So you guys are protected by constitution by law, but and by constitutional rights, policy enforcement. Anybody will say to myself that you're a stupid child. You guys are stupid people. If you're watching a movie and somewhere else in the world, I don't give a shit. But not like where I want to live happily. If anybody see anybody with my on social media do it to my children, anyone in my constitution, anyone's children in my constitution, I swear to God, I'll sue them and put down their money to your bank account. And you get the right to sue them too. Because I'm not joking with people there. This has to stop. The crude word should duality. But it's a must. It's a must. So if someone has to break it, you could just literally start basically 3 B's of your aspiration. You can kill your aspiration first. Don't kill what you want to do first. Say, oh, you can't do that. Just talk to you. Say, oh, I know you can't do that. So you sue them. Basically, you have to say, okay, I know my rights. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna sue you online. You got things like MONE claim.org. But the .com, on social media. Basically, if they say to you on the internet, just take that video, put it on the MMUKO or media platform, and you get the money from that account. Basically, it's moneyclaim.gov.uk, or moneyclaim universal, one for the UK, basically my question in NG, one for the NG. So this one's about the children, the children. Children go move up, they keep moving up, they keep going, no matter how old they are, we are still our children, they are children's children. It doesn't matter how old I am, I'm still my mom's child, but I'm not her, I've just broken out from a cycle of oppression. I'm not my mom, in any way, shape, or form. I've changed, I'm a changed man. I didn't need to change, they still needed to change. So I'm making my change where I want to live. So I'm changing what the system already is. So this is my oral city, guys. You guys are meant to live there, free of charge. Can go to your friend's house, but you have to have your own space, your own cats and dogs, especially when you turn 6 or 7. So 6 or 7 is not. Wait, when do you start working, children? Listen, think about children. Obviously, you guys start working. Sorry, not 5 because those are not allowed to work 5. No child allowed to work 5. You guys work 6 or 7, but you don't get it told. Basically, you don't get good. So if you find this video and you're 6-year-old as a policy, you're not allowed to work from me because I don't give you the job. But if you find someone that's working at 7, you turn 7 years old. You turn 7 years old. Then you can say, oh, my friend 6 years old wants to work, but he's 6 and I'm 7, so you can work with your friend. You have to be under someone at 7. That's like a Peggy system, 3 to 7. So 7 years is the policy, start to work. But if someone's 6 or 7, you start to work with that person. 6 years basically there's some kind of 6, 7, 8. I don't want to make it 7, but just a group of 3 children. So 7. So you can be 1 7-year-old and 2 6 years old. And then you can work to 15. So you turn 15 and 16. 15 minimum. So the minimum the maximum is 7 years old. I'm allowing you guys. And then that's 0 or 1 duality. And then the 14 to basically has to be 15 years. 14. Basically, I want you guys to be basically 15 years. Basically, go 14 from 14 to 15 years old. You guys I don't want you guys starting from there. So let's try this first, guys. For now, guys, I want you guys to be 15 and 16 to work, to have like rights to weapons and freedom. Basically, everything is free. So if you're living in a perfect life. So basically, I'm thinking of 14. I went to Cambridge. 15. I want to join the army. So basically, you got to join the army at 15, but it says 16 years old. So basically, at 15 years old, 15 is the minimum you're allowed to work. Not 14, guys. 15. To stop working as insurance section. So your stop basically in my country, you stop your child as soon as you start getting thoughts of like survival and stuff like that, finding about war, everything is fine, guys. It's fine because that's how the world is. The world is very noisy, so the noise has to be consumed to you. So you can join the army 15 years old. Like I wanted to do in the British Army, but it was my situation, 15, so 15 years or 16 years old, you are meant to be in the army, but you're not conscripted. You are like you are not conscripted until you're 16 years old. You're 15 years old. So basically, you are, but you're not in the army in platoon. 15 years old, you're in the platoon. You're basically in a platoon already. Like a 3 platoon. You basically have friends. They got 3 to 6 platoons, like like the smallest army unit. Then that that could be MMUKO TV. MMUKO TV, like reporting, news reporting. It can go 3 times 3 is 6. So basically, this is the example I'm giving you now. So if you join the MMUKO TV, MMUKO media, you're gonna join the army, but you get the MMUKO Zygo Dragon, which is the Zygo army. So the children's army, the Zygo Dragon, they protect the children. the history. So zygote children, child, but child is not an adult. So we are teenagers, child teenagers. They call it MMUKO teens. MMUKO teens, you guys are very good. So the teens are meant to really give. So basically, the teens here. So you got the MMUKO zygote teens dragon, because I don't want to give you my rights to give. So dragons are what? They breathe fire, but they breathe fire literally in the opposite direction, in the enemy's direction. And then you got the MMUKO dragon's masquerade, the masquerade. Masquerade. Those like people like smart people who keep quiet. So basically, you can breathe fire and keep quiet by your fire. I don't want to tell you I breathe fire, and then you can like masquerade. Oh, I know something about this. I can breathe fire. Maybe I can't breathe fire. Maybe you don't know. But I don't show you all my intentions yet. People that don't want to expose anything, but I don't want to give anything in the air yet, because I'm not secretly giving fire. So breathe, masquerade, and what? Breathe, masquerade, and what? No, basically, Anchor, so MMUKO Dragons Masquerade, and Soul. Is it my soul? No. Avatar. Am I the avatar? Why? Basically, your persona development framework is an avatar. So my avatar is the masquerade itself. Like the spirit match, the dance, the express. You express. We don't know what your aura is. You're like a private SSA. You're high ranking or you're low ranking, but we don't know. And then we got breathing, masquerading, and what? The last one I did, MMUKO breathing, MMUKO dragon. Basically, you got the tortoise and the dragon. Yes, basically, signals. Basically, you got a turtle. The turtle what can go somewhere and stay there for a long time. And live there and grow with turtles, other turtles. But that's the MMUKO turtle system. So you got a dragonfly. So dragons can fly very fast, but the turtle can go very slowly. So basically, turtle goes, but not as fast as dragon. So the turtle, just should be very slow, very small movements the turtle makes, and it gets the job done. Can be very smart if it's going to be the dragon, but that's the duality I'm talking about. So the turtle is land security, stability, and rebuilding stuff. If you can, and building stuff, and then you get a turtle moving slowly to do all of that. Thinking. Oh yes, I get it now. I now try to build double to make sure I've got everything coherently done. So that's a signal model. So signal to noise, signal and noise. Seriously, I get a signal. Signal to what? Build something. I do my time, take my time to build it properly. 24 years of my life, 24 years of constitution, and then we get turtle. So the turtle is a rock. It's like a rock hard shell, shell. Everything the turtle has, the encompass. It's an avatar. Basically, the turtle is an avatar, my framework. So you got a turtle avatar. The turtle can leave. This is the first initiative. Basically, you got a turtle on the move, like stability with the people, and you got a turtle media, MMUKO turtle. So basically, the MMUKO turtle is like if you go to Insigi, if you go to this repository here, basically, see this repository, NISI. Basically, I can't even feel an image now, because let me find an image now. Basically, there's an image of a turtle in OBINexus SNSIGII. There's an image there, but you can't see it. But the turtle is an avatar. Yes, it's in there. So you can be master of the MMUKO turtle team, and how you want to do it. You can be part of these two. It can't be. Basically, you can pick one turtle. Can be one turtle, two one. By policy, you have to be one turtle rank. And the dragon rank, at least one. If you go 2 turtles to 1 turtle, you can 5 guys to start. But you can mix it up. You can go from 2 turtles, 130, one dragon to 2 turtles, or 2 dragon to 1 turtle. Because 3 duality there. So the dragons are the model. So basically, it has to be there for me to mix it up. Introduce modeling, mix data and types, and then we get basically, I need more paper now. So that's the turtle. Turtle fly. I'm trying to think about it now. Oh my days, Namdi! Guys, Namdi! I'm gonna get a paper now. I have to get it right. This because I'm not gonna drop. Okay. So basically, turtles. Usually, there's an image of a turtle's there, but protocol survival. Oh no, Namdi! Oh, it's not coming out. Paper. Oh no. So guys, show you this right. Okay. So you got the turtles. The turtle has MMUKO, means the spirit of evil. The turtles is what? The turtle is what? The turtle is slow. So it's not slow. It's basically objective bound only. So the turtle is slow, but it's slow on purpose. It gets to the goal. It gets the job done because it's just working on a proof for something to work on it, and it's slow, and it gets the proof done, and it has stability. TUTRLE goes stability. It's done its work, but you know, stability is good as work done. Work done. That's tier 3A. So tier 3A is part of the TUTRLE, and tier 3B is the TUTRLE in the Revaltion having a system. The tier 3B is basically the tier 3A is OBINexus safety critical tier A, 3A, and A means what? A means what? A for authentic avatar, you know, and B for Bia, you know, 3B OBINexus Bia. Afra, because you know, that's a BF4, that's a BF4, I believe, what, BF4, because I want to change it now, because you know, if I don't change it now, I didn't want to change it, I want to change it because you know, it wasn't working for me, so that's what I'm saying. It says, Bia and Fra framework, come and take, so, the 3-3 is, this is the heart chairs, the OB chairs, OB heart, or soul, come and take BF4. If you want to be part of the HSOB, you have to go to 38. And you know, it's basically a dual model. You know, that's basically 3 layers. Can go from easily. I'm trying to like bridge the path because you know, break the path. Because you know, if I ever make it a bi-directional model, like you know, if tier 3A can go to tier 3B, but just tier 3B. Basically, there's a lot of requirements to get to tier 3A to tier 3B, because you know, I want to keep it like this because this is what it should be for security. But if I make it 3ABC. You know, someone can go into anyone and get anything they need. So because they have a path to work. Basically, there's only you can only go back and forth. Basically, you can go up or down. So that's the idea. So there's no via the axis model. So up, down, X, Y axis, and basically this is my X, Y axis. And there's inverted. Basically 3 axes. Then can go from here and get a path to go that branches out to 2 paths and get anything they need. This is corrupt. Basically, it's a corruption model. It's corrupting the system. Basically, the children are meant to not respect me, but respect whoever's there already, you know, in their souls. But you know, I'm thinking of taking like some kind of going to my land because I have a king there. I do have a land allotment there. I have to get all my data from them, and you know, go and build my land, get my allotment to build my PhD, start my PhD now, and superior concern. But you know, that's the idea. So again, to sum up, children are allowed to go all the way to tier 3A. Tier 3A, but you know, tier 3A is you know, basically they're part of tier 3B already because there's a dragon there. So get tier 3B, dragon, MMUKO dragons, dragon that breathe fire, and dragon that live. Basically, the living is not optional. Living is just there, but the work is what optional. So they can work on dragon, but you know, that's what is one dragon only for them. As a priority, one dragon only. As a child, only as a child, you know, no one can prove they can't go to dragon then. So that's the policy now. So if anybody proves it, now they're gonna get 2 dragons, allows 2 dragons between there's a minimum of 2 dragons required for an adult to be. So this is, if I want to breed, I want to join dragons, the final drug for the breeding tier, the living tier, and the work or the working tier. But I have to pick 2. But you know, that's the dragons one. 2, 3, live work, and then 1 and 2, 3 maximum. Can be basically, I can be all dragons. I cannot be all dragons, you know, in my framework. There's no all dragons, you know. You have to be either Uche and Eze Uche, and then you can be dragon. You can get MMUKO turtles. And now the turtles are like ninja turtles, you know. So you can have like a turtle sticker, you know, like a badge, you know. Basically, I want you guys to explore the world, you know. You won't land, you know. I don't even know where I'm going when I go there. I have to find that out. But you know, I have to make the turtles can move any way they want, you know, but they can move at incredibly slow spaces or whatever the speed is as a children, you know, I don't really care. But you know, if I can run, I can run faster. You know, guys, you know, children are very smart. The turtles, basically, you got the dragon breathing, the dragon fly, the dragon living. Because dragon, when they live, they can fly. You know, they fly by where they wanna go. And you got, but you know, the work is not optional. So when it comes to war, someone's fighting guys, I'm rebelling guys, who gets to defend me? I want you guys to defend yourself first. You know, I don't want to defend around me. I want you guys to defend yourself, but that'll defend me indirectly with my business model. I don't want anybody to kill me. I don't want to die. I want to live forever. But you know, I want to live on this earth forever. Dragonfly, dragon work, dragon life, dragon what? Basically, there's something else. Dragonfly is for living and working life as a dragon in the war, and then dragon working. Basically, I don't want you guys to be working because if you're working, you're stressed. me, I don't want you guys to work. I don't want to work. If you're working, you're stressed. That means something's not working. You know, you can stress me because indirectly. So this work is not optional here as well. So what I want you guys to do is to preserve yourself here, protect and serve yourself, and serve me. If you want to run, if I want to be running in my constitution, working in my constitution, because you're working there, not for me, for yourself. So you can go anywhere you want to see Japan. I want to see Japan still. And then breathe life work. It's not code should what. Breathe is not optional. It's not an option. Torek. Turtle what? Basically it can stay still. It's so static, can stay still, can move an inch, I don't really care. And then you go the turtle remember the turtle cannot fly, so turtle must crawl, walk. This turtle can walk very slowly, and run if it wants to run. Snapping turtles, you know, all the questions of turtles, the personification of a turtle. That's what the evolution of the MMUKO turtles are. 2 to 1 for the children. They have to be authentic, represent the constitution. You know, if you guys represent the constitution, there's no problem. There's no fragmentation. There's no problem. You know, if a child visits a country, this is the most perfect country in the world. You know, I love it so much. You know, they're lying. There's something wrong automatically. To me, there's lying. It's a red flag. It's a big red flag. And you know, I'm not able to child say that, but to make sure I want guys to say, it's okay. I get by. Doing my thing, everything. It's no problem. I can do everything myself. It's just everyday hustle. I just don't know. I just make breakthrough one day, and you know, it's simple thing. But you know, the problem was the actual building and the infrastructure. But you know, what I'm saying to you guys, you know, I want you guys to be expressing the problems there authentically. You know, I want you guys to be ontological resolution. This, you know, that's my ontological revelation. For my ontological covenant or the revelation. You know, I want you guys to be having friends. You know, actually trying to say, not just about your breakthroughs. Because if you're a child, you can be sued if you want to work. You don't know it, but you can be guided too, in case anything by me. If you want to do okay, thank you guys. I'm gonna end this video. That's the MMUKO Zygote initiative for MMUKO Turtles and MMUKO Dragon. Basically, because I can't remember the name of that one, I'm gonna end this now for the Tactical Defense Assembly and Alliance that uses the heterogeneous, that's mixed data types and homogeneous data and uniform data to uniform duality. Thank you, guys. Today again is 23rd of November 2025. Thank you, and the time is now 12:47 a.m. So again, you mentioned you gave everything 6 hours a day. I'd also thank you. Check the process, don't give everything.